Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video, welcome if you are new. Today we're picking our March TBR. How did we get to March? When did this happen? We're also going on holiday in March, so I'm kind of hoping for some holiday appropriate reads and I'm just very excited. I freaking love doing this. I also love having a little bit of a focused selection of books to read. I'm now approaching 100 books on my physical TBR, plus I probably read about 10-ish books in the library every month. It's just getting it's getting quite intense. But yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna do the same that I've done over the last couple of months and pick 8 books, pulling out prompts from the TBR jar, picking books off my bookshelf, and then those will be my focuses. I have finished the last 2 months of my TBR. There was a point in February where I didn't think it would happen, so I filmed a whole video of me like forcing my way through it. So if you haven't seen that, it'll be on my channel, but yeah. I finished my last February TBR book yesterday, and as I film this, it is the 22nd of February, so smash that. And now let's pick 8 more books from the TBR jar. A book over 500 pages. Great first prompt. If you don't know, one of my major goals at the moment is to finish off some of the series I'm in the middle of. I can't remember how many series it is, I'll pop it here. There's a lot of them. I'm getting a bit stressed. So that is one of my main goals. And I'm pretty sure this must be over 500 pages. I had book 3 on my February TBR and we're putting book 4 on my March TBR. This is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. It has something like 640-ish pages, so definitely fulfills the prompt. It also continues a series I'm in the middle of. I'm not looking at the moment to start any more like epic fantasy series because I'm still working my way through this. So there's a couple of those that have been like on my list to start, but I've been avoiding them. So I kind of really also want to finish this for that reason. If you haven't heard of this series, it's like probably one of the most popular fantasy series of like the last 12 months. It follows an assassin called Selena, basically going about her life. You find out some things about her. She's pretty epic. She's quite a cool character. And now we're starting to get this like collection of characters around her. And I think this, I believe, is the book where it actually really starts to take off in terms of the other characters. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. And then the book after this is the tandem read, which I am so excited about. Yeah, this is book number 1, continuing a series in the middle of, but the prompt is over 500 pages and I'm so very excited. I mean, this was like probably the easiest decision. I do have many other books on my shelf over 500 pages, but this is just a series I really, really, really want to continue with. A book set in a place you've visited. So it's gonna have to be like a real world book because I obviously can't visit a fantasy location. I haven't visited that many places is part of the problem. We're looking more up here. Hey Siri, where is One Day by David Nichols set?
I found this on the web.
Not what I wanted, you're a terrible AI. Fine, set in London, let's do it. Last month I read one of his other books. This time I'm reading the other one of his books. I do think these are the kind of books that I'm going to read and then unhaul. But this is One Day by David Nichols, set in London, which is where I used to live. Definitely visited there. And I don't really know what it's about so much. I get the impression, just from reading the very, very, very short blurb, that it's about Emma and Dexter who meet at university, separate their own ways, and then meet up every single year on the anniversary of the day they met, I think. I don't really know. I found David Nichols' previous book, like I enjoyed it enough, but I gave it a 3 stars, like it was very kind of like mid for me. So I would, if I hadn't put this on my TBR, probably have avoided this book for a very, very long time. So it's probably a good thing I've got it on here, but I'm not like looking forward to it, you know? I'm not like excited and buzzing and happy, like I'm just, we will give it a go. I think this is his more famous book. At least this is the one that I'm pretty sure they turn into a film. A book with a black cover. So many options. I think I'm going to pick out a few and show you them. This one, this one. I've got 3 books here, all different genres, but all continuing a series I'm in the middle of because that is my entire focus at the moment. They've all got black covers, but they're all like polar opposite books. So we've got Reckless by Lauren Roberts, which is the 2nd book after Powerless. Still haven't read this. The 3rd book is out and I probably should, at least, is it out or is it coming out soon? It's either out or very nearly out. I need to finish this book so I can get to it, but I've heard such mixed things about this book that I'm so nervous about it. But yeah, this is one of my options. The next one is a rogue one. I was really into this series when I was a teenager. It didn't actually finish while I was a teenager. It finished, I don't know, maybe when I was at university. So I stopped reading it. And so I actually don't know how it ends. And I saw it, the first 5 books, in a charity shop near where I live, and decided to pick them up, and I've now since bought the rest of them so I can finish the whole series. So it's not a very popular series right now, like at all, but it was when I was younger. And it's Chosen by PC and Kristen Cast, which is book 3 in the House of Night series. Reading it back as an adult, it is very YA. I hope it's like similar to, I'm not comparing them at all, but like similar to Harry Potter, where the books kind of grow up as the audience grew up. At the moment it's reading a little bit like clumsy, but we shall see. There's like 15 books in the series or something silly. This is book 3. It follows a girl, she's a teenager, called Zoe, who wakes up one day and she's a vampire. Like they just kind of like wake up one day. It's not like you get changed or anything. And it's a world where people know vampires exist, but they like don't want to associate with them. So they go to like their own school and have their own little like world. And Zoe ends up being like super mega powerful. Basically like every YA book you've ever read. And it basically follows her at school learning how to control her powers. Yeah, this is a bit of a rogue one, but it's got a black cover. And then the last one is the 3rd book in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is All In. Follows a group of teenagers who are like, they don't have superpowers, but they have like natural abilities to do things. So like reading people, remembering facts, like all those kind of like normal things, but they just are very, very, very good at it. This is the 3rd one. Effectively, they investigate cases and support the FBI, because why not? So these are my 3 options. I think I'm going to continue to avoid Reckless, so that's going back on the shelf. And then I've then got Chosen and All In. I think I'm going to go with All In because it's a series that I will likely be able to finish ASAP, or this one's just going to take me forever. I also think this is a very good filler book because they're so easy to read because they're quite childish, at least at the moment. I can like bash one of these out in a day, so I'm gonna not include this one, and this can just be a filler book that I will pick up, and I will choose All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes as a book with a black cover. A book from the longest series on your TBR. I know what that is. I was literally just saying I won't choose it because it's like a filler book, but it is the longest series in my TBR. Probably, in words, it would be Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. In pages and in books, it's House of Night. And I've already got a Sarah J Maas book on here, so I'm gonna go with Chosen from the House of Night series, which I'm not gonna tell you about because we just did it. Ooh, random number generator. I don't keep my have read books and to read books in like a logical situation. I keep genres and authors together. So it's going to be challenging. I think there's about 200 pages, 200 pages? No, 200 books behind me, potentially a bit more. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 200. And then if it lands on a book I've read, I'll just keep going until I get to the next book that I haven't. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 200.
That would be 137.
Oh my god, I've got to count that now. Okay, bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 32, 33, 34, 55, 56, 56, 71, 72, 73. What number am I actually getting to? I've already forgotten. Oh no, I've lost it. Siri, can you tell me the last number you just told me?
Your most recent missed call was from 0.
I think it was 137. If it wasn't, that's fun. 9, 90, 91, 96, 17, 18, 19, 21, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, I got this book from a charity shop because I've read Yellowface by this author. I picked it up. I knew very little about it and I'm slightly terrified of it, but this was the 137th, which I think was the number, oh well, the 137th book on my bookcase, and I'm terrified. It's Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is, I think, one of the oldest books on my physical TBR, as in like the books I've owned for the longest. I've just been avoiding it. I've owned this since my TBR used to be like 15 books. Like I kind of bought it and then I was like, why did I buy this? This is just not something I want to read. But then people keep telling me it's going to be amazing. And her writing in Yellowface was incredible, or at least their writing. I don't know, I'm assuming it's a female. But yeah, this book terrifies me. It's both long, text is tiny, and it's like a slightly weird plot. So I don't know much about this book at all. The blurb on the back talks about Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institution of Translation, and then like a student stands up against an empire. Like, I don't really know, but this was the 137th book. I kind of have to. You scare me. You terrify me. But if I can read it, I will feel so good because it will be off my list and it won't be following me. I've got a chunky TBR. Anyway. So let's go for book number 6. Give me better vibes. Random letter generator. Similar to the last one, but different. Hey Siri. Pick me a random letter. A. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. There's one there. I think I've got 2 solid answers. Can't see any more. So I've got 2 solid answers. They're very different. I've got Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayera, I think is their name. And then I've got Alice by Christina Henry. So this is a retelling of Alice's Adventures Underground. I've said this before, I worked on an event called Alice's Adventures Under something. The Alice book. This is a retelling of that story. It is a trilogy, so there are 3 books. I don't know if they're like one after the other or if they're just in the same universe. I've got this book. And then the other one is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayera. Both of these start a new series, which isn't ideal, but there's not much I can do. This one's on my 25 to read in 2025. This one's just a bit random. I think I'm gonna read Assistant to the Villain. I have heard so much about this book. I'm fascinated by it. I think it'll be fun. And then when I've read this, I can go buy the next book. So yeah, this is the next book. This is my random letter generator where I got given A. So Assistant to the Villain. Right, book number 7. A 5-star prediction. That is fun. A 5-star prediction. Hard. Okay. That's actually a really intense prompt. They're all starting series. This is just not what I wanted. Oh my god, I have so many. Okay, I need to stop. I'm stopping. I've picked up 5 books. It was initially a prompt that really overwhelmed me, and then I started selecting them and I was like, actually this prompt is really easy. These are books that are basically highly anticipated, either because I've wanted to read them forever, or they're continuing series, or they're authors that I love. They're all very different. My reading taste is quite eclectic, so you'll see that in these predictions. We've got Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice, which continues the Finley Donovan series, which I just have the most fun with. Like, this series is just so much fun. I wouldn't say it's necessarily 5 stars because it's like the best written book you'll ever read, but it's just, you just have a blast reading it. It follows a slightly failing author who accidentally ends up basically becoming a hit woman, is sort of the plot. It's as random as it sounds, and it's just slight chaos, and I vibe with it. And this is the 4th book. I think it's a series of 5, but the 5th book's only out in hardback currently. We've then got Emily Henry's Book Lovers. I've only read one of Emily Henry's books, and I did really, really love it. So prediction, just because I like the author. And then we go into fantasy, because fantasies for me are usually 5 stars. So we've got Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I have wanted to read this book for literal years. Like, I'm so excited to read this book. I don't know a huge amount about it. I know it's quite dark. That's basically all I know. So I don't know why I'm excited. Let's not get into that. Let's not ask that question. I think this can be 5 stars just because I see so many people absolutely love it. And yeah, I clearly know nothing about it. We've then got Light Lark by Alex Astor, which similar vibe to Phantasma. I don't really know what this book's about. I'm just very excited about it. Anyway, this will also be starting a new series. Both of these are new series, so I'm slightly reluctant. And then we've got V. Schwab, A Darker Shade of Magic, which has some kind of like situation where there's like two different types of London in war over magic or something. Like no one talks about this book very much. It's a 5-star prediction for me because I love V.E. Schwab's writing. Like I just love it. And so I think this series is gonna be amazing. But these 3, I already have a fair amount of fantasy on my to read list. I'm already starting a new series and I'm trying to avoid starting a new series. So as much as these are 5-star predictions, although I don't know why because I clearly know nothing about any of them, I'm actually not going to pick one of these. So it's between Book Lovers and Finley Donovan's Rolls the Dice. And I think I'm gonna pick this. It finishes a series, or at least as much of the series that is out. It's just so much fun. Like if you read books for pure enjoyment and kind of nothing more than that, this series is just a blast. Like I love it. So I think this to me is the 5-star prediction. It's the one I would say probably has the highest chance of being 5 stars just because I freaking love this series. That's my 5-star prediction. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I now have 2 decent books off the back of Babel. Life's great again. So we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 more book. A book from a new author. So this is where I could end up starting a new series, but I'm not going to. I think I'm gonna go across these 3 books. I think everything else is either a new series, which I'm trying to avoid, more fantasy, which I feel like I've got enough of, or I just don't want to read yet. These are kind of vibey together. I kind of quite like them, especially these 2. These 2 look like they belong on the same bookcase. We've got a romance, and then 2 kind of lit fic kind of type books. I am excited about all of these in very, very different ways. We've got The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which I feel like it's just gonna be like effortless holiday read. It's something about 2 identical sisters. One is like super lucky, one is like super unlucky, and then I don't know past that. I'm not very good at describing books before I've read them because I buy books based either off recommendations or based off of vibes, and yeah, that's about it. So I don't know much about this book. We then have The Virgin Suicides, which I bought the other day at the train station. It follows a collection of 5 sisters who kind of watch them go up and be a bit messy. And I just think it sounds so interesting. And then you've got Cleopatra and Frankenstein's Coco Melon. No, Coco Melon is a show I worked on. Cleopatra and Frankenstein. Sorry, that was weird. No, actually don't know. I think based on the fact that I knew the most about this one, this is clearly the one I'm most excited about. So I'm gonna pick The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I don't know how you pronounce that name. And I have likely absolutely butchered it. So I apologise to this author, but I'm very excited about your book. I don't really know what else they've written, but that's not the point of this prompt right now. Let's do a quick little roundup of the books on my March TBR. So exciting. So we've got great start. We've got Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, which is continuing a series. Actually, this wasn't continuing a series. What was the prompt of this? Oh, a book over 500 pages. We've got One Day by David Nichols, which is a book set in a place you visited. Also a book I'm avoiding, so quite good to have it off my list. We've got All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is a book with a black cover, but also a book that continues a series. We've got Chosen by PC and Kristen Cast, which is the longest series on your TBR, and this continues it. We've got Babel by R.F. Kuang, which I feel like I'm putting up a lot of resistance to. I'm just scared of it. But this was the random number generator picks. We've got Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayra. This is a random letter generator picks. It also starts a new series and I'm very excited for it. It's on my 25 to read in 2025. Pretty buzzing. We've got Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice, which is a 5-star prediction, and it's a 5-star prediction based off vibes. Like, I am so excited about this book, so yeah. And then the last one is A New Author to You, which is The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey. Don't know how to pronounce her last name, so I'm going to stop. But I'm actually really buzzing about this book. And yeah, those are my 8 books on my March TBR. A whole mix of things I'm really excited for, and 2 books that I probably wouldn't have picked. So guys, a nice like mix of things to read. Some short books, some long books, multiple different genres. I'm actually quite excited, and yeah, I will let you know in next month's TBR whether I succeeded. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Click subscribe because I post one of these every single month, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!